Hey, what's up, people? My name is Mamba, and today I'm going to be talking about rotations. And this is something that I've been meaning to talk about since a while now. And I guess today one of the guys on the stream as well asked this question. So I'm literally recording this at like 4:30 in the morning, and I've actually been planning on starting with a series as well, which talks about basic mistakes that puggers make, and you guys have asked for it as well. So I play a lot of solo pugs, and I've noticed that people at the lower levels of Face It make a couple of common mistakes. The first one is, of course, rotations. Now, I want this video to be a little more. I won't say advanced, but I don't want it to be too basic. But then again, let's just get the basics out of the way. The two biggest mistakes that players make while rotating from a side to the other is either they rotate too fast or they rotate too slow. Now, these two mistakes are pretty easy to fix, but as we advance, it is when it starts getting tricky. But rotating too fast is basically, one of the guys at B calls, hey, there's one guy B, and the guy at A starts leaving his position and, will start probably falling back to the CD base. Rotate to the B side, leaving the A side open, and then, creating a massive gap for the T side to exploit. And, that's rotating too fast. Rotating too slow, though, on the other hand, is when the information's been relayed that, hey, maybe there are three guys towards the B bomb side. I hear three footsteps towards the B bomb side. The flashes have started to pour out. The smokes have, there's probably a smoke over here. Mall is being thrown out towards benches. And the guy at A still not rotating. A lot of times this happens because the player who's either playing the anchor, float, whatever, is scared that maybe there's a lurker somewhere around inside A mains, probably A palace or A mains, and that's the reason why they rotate too slow, or they're not paying attention. Now, if they're not paying attention, you can't really help them. But if you're scared that maybe there's a lurker towards, towards the A mains area or towards the palace area or something like that, there are two things you can do. One is, of course, information is key over here. Figure out how many players are there towards the B bomb side. So imagine this. Imagine a scenario where it's a 5v5. No players have died, but you've been given the information that there are three guys inside B palace. So you know where three guys are, right? And you then look at your teammates' position. So imagine this. Two guys usually play the B bomb side. One guy is usually playing window. Smokes have started popping out. Three guys from, you've been given a call that there are three terrorists inside B palace. Your window guy is left mid. He's rotating through kitchen, which means you have no presence towards mid. You have, this is practically absolutely open, right? So you have no vision in your radar towards mid. So you don't know if there is someone towards mid or not, because if usually there's a guy in your teammates FOV, you see a red dot on your radar, right? So your window guy is rotated. So you have three CTs and three Ts towards the B bomb side. Now, as a guy playing the A bomb side, how do you rotate? You want to rotate taking the safest route possible, and of course the fastest route possible as well. Now, in a situation like this, usually, hey, people would prefer I just run across jungle, go in, and try and rotate as quickly as possible. But then, of course, a lot of times there's a lurker inside A main. He'll probably get the drop on you when you're trying to rotate through jungle. You're scared, so you're not trying to rotate. So you're not rotating too quickly, right? So in a situation like this, if you don't know if there's anyone inside A palace or A main, you have no information because you're playing from behind. Mid is open, so of course you cannot go through mid as well. Maybe there's a guy onto short. Sorry about that. Maybe there's a guy onto short marking window, or he can just come in over here, mark jump across. And it happens in pugs a lot of times. And I'm not talking about a professional match. It's more it's more streamlined over there. But so in a situation like that, try and take the safest and the fastest route possible. There's nobody towards mid, run towards CT, try and rotate from CT. And the moment you cross jungle, try and make sure that you don't get backstabbed. Now you still have information about three guys. So this is the most important part. What is going to happen is that in the meantime, while you're rotating from the CT base to, look at how much time it takes, right? It takes about 7-8 seconds. So, here's a beauty in Counter-Strike. The more patient you are, the easier it gets for you. And this is, of course, counterintuitive. It's a separate discussion on its own. So while you're rotating, either you're going to get more information about where the Ts are. So you already know about three guys. You might get information about the fourth guy, so you only have to worry about one more guy. Or what could happen is you might get information about all the five guys. Now, of course, it depends from situation to situation. But even if, imagine this case where you have the information about four guys, You have 4 CTs remaining, and you know the only thing you have to worry about right now is jungle, because your jungle teammate has already rotated from jungle to kitchen, and well, the only area which is really open is mid, right? So all you have to worry about in terms of the backstab is jungle. So while the rest of your teammates are trying to get into the bomb site, watch your back maybe if you want to. This is when you really start worrying about the lurker. But you know, usually retakes are not that difficult. You do have some rotating from maybe underpass or B short, and if you have some rotating from underpass, you know most likely he's going to find information about the remaining guys as well. So the most key point over here, and I hope I'm not making the video too long, I really wanted it to be a short video, but the key point over here is realizing how much information do you have. So if there's a situation where you have 4 guys in the opposite team who are alive, 3 guys have the control, 1 guy is rotating from underpass, you don't have information about the last guy, so you rotate through CT, you're watching the back, and then he calls out there's 1 guy, you know, deep inside B palace. So you already know there are 3 guys on the side, 1 guy inside B palace. Screw the backstab, you don't have to worry about it. So this is when you start, you know, figuring out, hey, how do we go in? So that's one part of rotations. So yeah, this part is pretty important as well, which will help you, you know, figure out your rotation path as well, because there are 10,000 ways you can rotate. You can rotate from underpass, go from B palace, go from behind, doesn't matter. But now for the players at lower ranks, what usually happens is they spot the C4. Hey, the C4 has been called out a B. Fine, you have to rotate towards B, but the most important part, remember how many players you have the information off. So you spotted the C4 at B, but you only have information about 2 guys. So you got to be more aware, you got to be more careful, choose your path accordingly, and try and, you know, play the round accordingly. Now, next important point. When do you avoid getting faked? How do you avoid getting faked? So this is where, you know, anticipation comes in. Of course, this is going to be an in-depth discussion as well. So a lot of times what happens is, hey, you have the information that, you know, there are 2 guys inside B palace. They've thrown out 2 flashes as well. They've thrown out a rebound. Now they've thrown these flashes, but now there's no information coming out of the B palace. So you've had information which has been relayed to you, which your teammates are reeling. Hey, you know, I've heard 3 guys at B. Flashes are happening. So, you know, what I usually end up doing in a situation like this is that I know for a fact it's going to be a B take, because there are 3 guys towards the B bomb side, or 4 guys as a matter of fact towards the B bomb side. But, you know, sometimes, as you climb up the ladder on Face It or So Strong, as you get better at the higher levels, what happens is that, you know, people start faking. And to avoid being faked easily, you know, wait for a couple of seconds, because even if the flashes have come out, but there's no contact, and by contact I mean, you know, the flashes have come out, but none of your teammates have spotted anyone, or no bullets are being exchanged, then you gotta wait it out a bit, because if for the next 10 or 15 seconds nothing happens, chances are they're falling back, they're rotating, and this is when you need to readjust as well. So, one, of course, knowing when to rotate, most important thing. Then readjusting yourself based on the information you have, because if they've thrown flashes, if they've given away information, but they're not committing to a bomb site, if there's no firefight happening, then you need to stay put, try and figure out, hey, do I need to rotate right now? And of course, have faith in your teammates. In a situation like this, it's very crucial to have faith in your teammates, because you know this is something that happens in the late round as well. I'm actually drifting off right now, but I really want to talk about this. This is something that happens in the late round. Imagine this: you have a 4v3 situation, 2 guys towards the A bomb site, 2 guys towards the B bomb site, 3 Ts, and you hear 1 guy towards the B palace, right? Information's being passed that, hey, I hear a guy inside B palace, and what usually happens is that one of the guys starts rotating towards the B bomb site. You don't have to do that, even though it's a 2v3. You gotta have faith in your teammates that if they commit to the fight, they're at least going to get a frag or 2, and if they don't commit to the fight, they can fall back. But this is a different discussion again, so I'm going to talk about it in a different video. But the important point over here is having faith in your teammates. So this was time from spotting to contact, and now the last part that I want to cover in this video is anticipating plays before they happen. Now this is something that's really crucial, and this is something that I've started implementing lately, and this has helped me read rounds a lot better as well. Now, Counter-Strike, of course, is a game where you can't exactly pinpoint what's going to happen the next moment, because there are a lot of factors, 10 players on the server, a lot of variables as well. But in PUGs, since the communication will never be on point, you can actually, anticipate plays before they happen, or even before the information's been relayed. So for example, I'll tell you this. You can hear flashes a long way, even if, for example, there's a flash at, for example, B bomb side, right? I think you can hear it on the A bomb side. Let me see. Can you hear it on the A bomb side? I think you... Yep, you can hear it on the B bomb side. So what happens is, if there's one guy faking the B bomb side, he's gonna throw 2 flashes. So just try and... So you see the time difference between the 2 pops of the flashbangs? There's a specific gap between 2 flashes popping from the same player. You cannot throw flashes quicker than that. Now, how do you anticipate how many players are there inside an area even before the information's been relayed, or even before your teammates actually know what is happening? So if there's one player inside towards B bomb side and he's just faking by throwing the flashes, this is how much time it'll take. But if there are 2 guys, this is what happens. The flashes are much quicker. So, imagine this. You see a smoke coming out towards window, then a flash gets thrown out, and you hear these 2 flashes. So you know for a fact that there are 2 guys inside the B palace area. You don't even have to wait for your teammates to communicate this information. So in a situation where, hey, it's a 4v3, 2v2, 2 guys here, 2 guys there, and you hear these 2 flashes, you know there are 2 guys towards the B bomb side. So this is when you start rotating, because you have no information towards mid or A palace. Take the safer route, try and go there. Or if you're feeling lucky and you know for a fact. Now this is when, the timer as well, the round time as well is very important. So imagine this. If there are 45 seconds, 40 seconds left in a situation like this, then you might want to play it safe and rotate all the way back. But if there are 20 seconds left on the clock, chances are he's not going to come out A min, or he's not going to come out A palace, because that would be a very stupid thing to do. Of course, it can happen, but out of 100 times, probably 95 times it's not going to happen. So, imagine this. 2 flashes pop out towards the B bomb side, and there's 20 seconds on the clock. Leave A palace, A main. Don't really have to worry about it. The only thing you have to worry about is B short. Go in for the rotation, and this is how you anticipate plays. And this is really important as well, because a lot of times people have ops. Now, even if I take consecutive shots, this is how much time it takes. Or if someone has an AK, not AK is probably not the best example. Deagle might be the best example, or not even a Deagle. I think ops are the best example to give you guys right now. That even with an op, right? If the enemy team is playing a double op setup, the timing between the 2 shots, or the timing between 2 events happening, there is a specific delay that Counter-Strike has before something can happen. So if you get that sound cue within that time frame, you know how many players are there in a specific area. And this is how you anticipate rotations, or anticipate plays even before they happen. And I think that pretty much sums it up. And again, this is one of the things that I would have forgotten, since I think the video is already above 10 minutes. But here's the thing: smokes have popped in, flashes have popped out, but you still don't know that if they're committing to the B bomb side or not. Because usually what happens is that you throw in a Molotov, teammates just wait it out for a bit. But there are other cues as well. If you hear 2 Molotovs going in the smoke as well. So if there's a smoke, and if a Molotov goes inside this, if Molotov pops in the smoke, this is the sound it creates. So for you, let me just try and give you guys a better example. Okay, this is, how far do you go? So this is, you hear it across the map. So if you hear 2 Molotovs popping off, maybe they're rushing in, because you don't usually see 2 Molotovs just being thrown out like that. So these are your small cues in terms of rotations, and I hope this helps. Even though I wanted this to be a really, really short tutorial, it ended up being over 15 minutes. So I'm going to try and edit the parts out where, there is dead space, and hopefully I can try and condense it down to 10 minutes. But thank you so much guys for watching it, and hopefully I'll be able to push out more videos like this. If you guys have questions, leave them down in the comments. I'll try and reply to them as soon as I can, or address them in the next stream whenever I stream. I think that's gonna be tomorrow. And better yet, make sure you guys hit the subscribe button if you guys like the content, and I'll see you guys next time.